DJDUBLTV.
It's DJ Double here, and today I'm joined by, what is it, 66% of the sickest producer collective in the UK right now. I've got Dro and C Dot in the building, aka the Fanatix.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on, fellas?
Thank you for having us, man.
Welcome to the show, man. This is exciting times. It's like finally in the UK we have our own NERD. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the levels that I'm hearing from you guys.
Very major statement. Yeah.
Big ups to Masterpiece, the third partner in the collective. Can't make it today, but yeah. Was there always three of you?
You know what? There was a couple more initially, but just through life obligations and work and other commitments, they fizzled away. But yeah, the core for the last, say, the last 3 years, it's been three of us.
So how did you guys all meet?
So yeah, initially I used to rap, so I was in a duo, and we used to produce and rap our stuff and all of that, and just the amount of money we used to put into everything, we used to do everything properly. So from PR campaigns to the videos to just everything, we had our own clothing. So we were doing a bit too much and kind of like jack of all trades, master of none. But we always used to just hear back, who does you guys production? So when we got to a point where just financially it just weren't making sense, I decided to just focus solely on the production side of things. And in that time when I was rapping, I think it was Castle Black, he introduced us to C Dot as an engineer, mixer and masterer. So I sent him something one time and he sent it back. Like we just sent him a song and then he sent it back with all these chops in it and all this extra stuff. And I was like, yo, what the hell? And then from there, that kind of started that relationship. And then he invited me down to a producing camp that he was doing one day.
What, CJ did?
Yeah, C did. And then I just went there myself, and there was like a bunch of other people there, and there was just like, it was just a day where we were just all putting energy into the one track, and I was like, I'd never done it like that before. Before it was just me and the business partner I was working with before. And from that I was just like, yo, that was actually mad. If we were to do that on a regular basis, like it'd just be crazy what we could come up with. And that kind of gave me the idea, and then I went away, and while I was away I was just thinking, yeah, I want to put together a production team. So I spoke to all the kind of people that I knew that I rated what they were doing, and the ones that took it seriously got involved, and that's what we are now.
And the rest is becoming history.
Masterpiece used to produce for us as well when we were rapping.
Right.
So I went to school with him, so
okay.
He got away with it.
Sick. You touched on, you used to make clothing. You had a clothing line back then. I noticed, I spoke off air as well, like the merchandise is looking tight, man. I've seen the jackets, I've got the hats. Like, is this something that people can buy, or is this just at the moment stuff that you have just to keep all the branding in line?
Identifying ourselves in what we do. Like, I just think it's important to not just make music, to actually look at all of the other demographics of
all the brand
entertainment.
Yeah. So you have to excuse the pun, I'm a bit of a hat fanatic. So are they coming out, like, is this going to be like merchandise people can buy? Yeah,
they're coming. We're working out the logistics just to do it on a mass scale for ourselves right now. Something can be like a little bit of a process, so we just want that ironed out nicely, and then we can offer it to everyone that keeps asking for it.
To all the people that aren't reggae music fans, the Fanatics are going to be relatively new to them, you know, with the movement that you guys have got now. I mean, I think the first time I was aware of you guys was it was the Love Life Rhythm, like 2015.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I kind of became aware of you guys and the whole E5 records. Where did the journey begin for you guys as Fanatics, as the collective, and was it always solely reggae music?
Not at all.
Started off mainly hip hop. It was mainly hip hop, but we kind of got a little request in for a dancehall beat, and there was only one.
Yeah, we had one dancehall beat in the folder that coincidentally just got made the week before.
Right.
And we sent that. And it was just like, yeah, whatever. And then it got sent back with Popcaan on it.
Okay.
And at the time, I personally, anyway, I was like, okay, cool. And my brother was like, yo, do you know who Popcaan is, bro? I was like, nah. And then, like, from there, it was just like people got mad over it.
Yeah.
We didn't even see the how big a deal it was at the
Which
time.
one was that? Beach Life Rhythm or a different one? Because I know you've had a few with Popcaan's voice, quite a few of them now as well, innit?
Yeah,
So,
that was before that. That was a tune called
Every Gal for a Week.
Every Gal for a Week.
Yeah.
oh, okay, right.
And shout out to Mini E5 because he was the guy on the island that was making them things there
Right.
at the time.
I was about to ask with the connection between the Fanatix and E5 because I wasn't sure if it was initially your label and then the Fanatix were born from that. So
No. E5 were functioning, doing their thing,
Right.
and we were doing our thing over here.
okay,
And it was someone that introduced us to Mini, and that's how it first that kind of process happened.
right, got you. Did you guys produce Beach Life Rhythm as well, right?
Yeah.
Sick. Yes. Well, that's actually Unruly Party is one of my favourite Popcaan tunes, man.
That's
So,
deep.
Yeah,
pause.
Years back.
But yeah, that's way back, man.
what was the catalyst for you becoming so versatile like you are now?
I think the fact that there's three of us, and we all have kind of a different outlook on what we include energy wise. So he could start something, as in C could start something, and like while he's doing what he's doing, I'm just hearing a bass line in my head. I'm like, yo, this was something mad on it. And then when he's done what he's doing, I'm like, yo, let me have a go. And I'll put that down. He's like, is that what you're going with the bass? So it's kind of, it's a spontaneous process.
Yeah.
Where we all kind of hear different things and put that together when we are working all together.
How do you get past creative differences? Like, if one of you is to put down something that you weren't really feeling on the beat, you just go in and kind of just take it out. And
Just,
It's not really like it.
There's no one's feelings get hurt.
There's no feelings, man.
Because it's just for the best for the track. You know,
Yeah.
if it sounds right.
You know what's mad? Like, I was compiling a list of tunes that are in my playlist at the moment by the Fanatix. And guys, you've got so many big tunes. I'm going to just list a couple of them. And these are my personal favourites and the ones that really like are making noise for me. You've got Joe Grind's 4K, which I said to Joe Grind at the time was his best song to date. We were lining up to do a live show, and I told him it had to be in the live show. Like, the song was ridiculous. He wasn't sure because he wanted to keep it to the EP, but I was like, bruv, it's mad. Obviously, gigs, time's ticking. We've got Stylo G, Zimmy, Miss Banks' new one come through, Alakai Harley Killer, Stylo's 10 Metric Ton. With Beanie Man, I had to list it because I couldn't remember them all. There's that many. One I love is Naomi Gray with Frisco Signs.
Okay.
Got that one.
Shout out,
Yeah, Scraps and Chip, High Spec. And what I'm considering the biggest tune in my collection right now for the clubs, Active, Sneakbo and Gigs.
Just,
Like-
I ain't even heard that in the club yet.
Yeah.
We're just in the studio full time.
Some clubs,
Can't handle it.
you just can't play it. You can't hear anything, bro. It's like, it's mad. You just can't play it there. Yeah, it's crazy. Did I miss any? I'm sure there's actually a few out there, but I'm listing just
Yeah, we got a few
what's in
bits
my
of Clue
playlist.
as well.
Like-
Shout out Clue.
Who, sorry?
Clue.
Clue. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the maddest thing about the process is that some things are just done so long ago
Yeah.
that when they do kind of surface to the public, it's just like,
For you, that's...
oh right,
that's
that's coming out now. Like, we've kind of lost touch of. We're just trying to be on what's next.
Another one that really went under the radar, Bay, at Tizzy and Brown's tune.
Yeah, he's reminded me.
Yeah, so is that an example of what you're saying? Like, that's a proper old tune that's just...
Not even just old, but there's just so much going on at one time.
Yeah.
There was a point early on where we'd get to make something and live with it and just listen over and rinse it out. Now it's just like, I'll look in the folder, because we got a combined folder, and I'll be like, right, this was made 2 days ago. Oh, right, yeah, right. Like, there's just so much constantly that, yeah, we don't even really get to live with things.
When it comes to working with all the with all the artists, do you prefer to have them in the studio so you can kind of sit through the beats, or like maybe give them a little bit of guidance with the tune, or do you just prefer to make the beat, send it off, see what they come back with?
No, I prefer to work with them in the studio.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Do you get quite hands-on with like what direction you want the songs to go, or do you just let the artists get creative with it?
We kind of do.
Yeah, it's good to give them breathing space to get the initial, like, to hear what they're interpreting the beat as.
Yeah.
But then if it's like a hard beat and they're doing something really soft on it, I would say, yeah, that don't really work.
Yeah.
So I think the studio has to be an honest space.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if you're not all feeling it in there, then there's just no point. I think with the artists as well, they look for our approval,
right?
In the sense like, yeah, what do you think? Is it hard? Like,
yeah. I guess as the producers, you always have in your mind kind of where you want that track to be.
Yeah, it has to be the best. So you have to actually say something. If it's something that's really bad on the track and you're just gonna let it go, then you know, I mean, it's a bad representation anyway.
It's better to even fall out in there than let it go out and be.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Talk to me about the studio session that led to Stylo G's Uzili.
I must have messaged Stylo like maybe a year before he got back to me. And
he's running on that Jamaican time, you know.
And I just at that time I didn't really. It was just like something where you just think, bro, man, it just ain't replied kind of thing. But now that we're busier and we're just getting loads of messages, people are probably looking at us like that, and it's like now I understand that it's not something to take offense to.
No.
Like, people are human. The busier you get, you've got limited hours in your day just to keep up with all the different platforms. And yeah, so that was that anyway. And then a few things, I think Boogie and Pattern had came up by Pagey, and he hit me up and he was just like, yo, you lot done Boogie? I was like, yeah. And he's like, yo, I need a rhythm like that, man. And at the time I was just thinking, what have we got like that? And then I just sent him a beat and that was it. And then he come down and checked. They come and checked us, and
you filmed it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we've actually got.
That's what gave me the idea to ask you the question, because I saw there's some behind the scenes footage in the studio.
It was literally as it looked in that footage. He was just there, he was vibing, and he's just like, you see me. We're like, yo, that's a mad. And that was the birth of that song.
Yes, amazing. I was chatting with Miss Banks last week, and she obviously hopped on a remix with Lisa Mercedes, something that got posted out by Nicki Minaj as well. As the producers of that record, like, how big a moment was that for you?
It was crazy. Just from the sense of you don't know how far things can actually reach. When you're in the process of making music, you don't know what is going to end up on it, how long it's going to take for something to be recorded on it. Like the beat for Active, for instance, that was made 4 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, so you've been sitting on it that long,
Yeah, it's just been there.
So why did no one voice it until now?
I don't know, man. Like it had been sent to a few people. We'd heard, it's bad, but this time.
Come on, who turned it down?
Yeah, timing and energy. It went to Jamaica. Like,
no, you got to narrow it down, bro. Come on. I don't want countries, I want specific artists. Popcaan, you could have had Active, bro. You could have had the sickest tune in the UK right now, but you turned it down.
Where?
It didn't get sent to a lot of people though, really.
Yeah, I think that one at the time, that was one of the ones that we'd sent to many. But yeah, what was the question again? Who
did you send Active to and who turned it down? That's the question I'm interested in.
I can't even remember.
Lies! You're a liar! You're a liar! So, back to Stylo G. No, we were talking about Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. So yeah, the reach of where things can eventually end up, you just have no idea. So that was a moment where it was just like, Nicki Minaj has actually heard and rated something we've done. And it's just like, yeah, cool. That kind of confirms how you feel you can assess like your judgment on certain things.
Yeah,
basically.
Very sick. How does a studio session with someone like Joe Grind compare to other artists that have maybe been doing this a lot longer?
I wouldn't even say that it was in any way dissimilar. Like, it didn't take forever for him to write what he was doing. He just listened through a bunch of tracks, and yeah, he was honest in the sense that he could hear a beat and say, yeah, this beat is disgusting, it's not me, but I'd love it to be me, but it's not, so I need something that's going to fit where I'm coming from and all of that. So we played through a good few beats with him, and then that one, it was one that I didn't even think of playing at first, and he was like, yo, this one's mad. And again,
vibing to it.
Yeah. Funny how that stuff can happen, isn't it?
But I do, as a person, Joe Grind is good people, man. I love his energy.
Definitely, very clean-hearted guy. And you touched on his honesty as well. Like, that's something I've always credited him for. Like, he just says it how it is. That's also quite cool that he would skip through the beats and be like, I like it, but it's not for me, because especially with the status of the Fanatix brand, if I was a rapper, I'd be like, yeah, just send me the first one. I don't care what it sounds like. I jump on it, so I've got a Fanatix collaboration. You know what I mean? Some people might have that mentality. I know the process of Active was very different, because you weren't with Sneakbo and Gigs in the studio. So with that particular record, you sent it to Gigs, right?
Yeah, Stylo, again, he was in the studio. I don't know if it was the Using Me session or another one, but we played him that beat. And
Stylo, come on. Sorry, Karen.
So we played him the beat, and he was just like, "Yo, this is Gigs, man." And he just took out his phone and started, he voice noted it and sent it to him. Yeah. And then Gigs called up and was just like, "Yo, what the fuck is that?"
Oh, there we go. Stylo G, the plug.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah. Real talk, man. He plugged us with Chip as well. Like, he's another genuine good character.
Most definitely. Yeah. Shouts to Stylo G, man. And big ups to Gigs as well. I love how Sneakbo told the story of Gigs having an instrumental and bringing it to Sneakbo and being like, yo, this is yours for your project. Here's what I've done with it. Like, sick, man. I like everything about that track, and I don't just mean sonically. I mean the whole process behind it. It was so organic. Do you know what I mean? Like everything from start to finish. Like very, very sick. What does it feel like having so many big tunes in circulation now? For you guys, is it just like whatever, or is it kind of gas?
It's not whatever, but
it's halfway from what you did there. It's not such a deep shrug. It's
like a mid shrug.
The ambition level was just crazy. So we celebrate the things as they happen, but we don't hang around on that and like get over gas. We just know that for every opportunity that comes, or everything that people hear, there's almost a level of expectation, and we just want to keep smashing that people's expectation of us as far as the artists we're working with and the level of what we're doing. I don't by any means think that we're at the best of where we're going to get to, production wise, or with the people we're working with. So it's exciting for us in that sense. Like every achievement we get is another stepping stone.
Dreddy came to the studio recently. Was that a moment for you guys? Dreddy's a legend out here.
Definitely. Definitely. That was crazy.
How did that come about? Like, how did the connection with Dreddy happen?
He just tweeted us saying that he thought we were sick. And we was like, because we share the Twitter accounts. Between us. So I was like, I think he said to me, "Yo, you see what Dreddy said?" I was like, "Bro, Dreddy, you know," because obviously from the So Solid times and all of that, I was rapping them times, but very early in doing that. And again, it's just this journey here, the music journey, is nuts in the sense of you don't know who you're going to interact. There are people that we've looked up to, like even Nicki Minaj just tweeting something that we've done, and everything. It's just like, it's mad the people you interact. It's so unpredictable. So when he got us, we was just like, that's nuts, Dreddy. Like, he's been sick, and he's definitely someone that's on the same path that we're on, but just way further ahead. So for him to acknowledge what we're doing was a big thing for us.
So it was a thing of like just saying to him, yeah man, you know, it'd be sick if we could work together, or just, you know what I mean, link up or whatever. And then he actually just jumped in the DMs and was like, yeah, you know, where you based? And he said, yeah, South. And I said, where you based? He was like, oh, LA, but you know, he's over here at the moment for a bit. So I was like, yeah, we should make it happen. Just come down to the studio, and yeah, that's
it. You came straight around.
He moved things around to come and check us. And just to sit down and just listen to music that we've got there, and his words of wisdom as well as encouragement and just general rating on what we're doing was just like, I was looking at him like, bro, you nuts. Like, you're Dreddy. How can you be saying that you rate us and to a degree you're inspired by the things we're doing? Because it's way further in the journey, like I said.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a great look for you guys. An amazing cosign. Big ups to Dreddy. And how does he still look about 22 years old? Bro, this guy's drinking that secret stuff that Pharrell's got, you know, like all these over in LA, the water's different out there, mate. Like Dreddy, he hasn't aged, he's unaged. He looks like he's getting younger. I always ask people ultimate collaboration question. I want to ask you two different types of it, right? So in terms of a producer, who would you most like to link up with and collaborate with? Dead or alive, anyone ever?
a producer.
A producer. You can just ring off a couple names if you like.
The Neptunes, as you said earlier. Pharrell, definitely.
Timbaland.
Timbo the King, yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
The usual suspects, really.
What about artists? If you could have any artist from any genre, from any time ever, dead or alive, who would you most like to voice a Fanatix record?
You have to email us them kind of questions.
I've got to give you a heads up. Yeah. We've got time. We've got time.
I think I would definitely like to do something for Pharrell. Yeah, Pharrell. He's sick to work.
Pharrell voicing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe an MJ, Michael Jackson. The old schools, the people I used to hear my parents listening to, like the Otis Reddings, Luther Vandross.
Okay, yeah.
Because they were from an era where just the vocal ability was completely different to nowadays. There was no auto-tune, it was reel to reel, one take, you got to nail it. Like,
yeah.
And so their skill set was just way beyond what it is nowadays.
The lack of technology then meant like singers and performers had to be singers and performers.
Yeah. And then people like the Drakes, Rihanna,
Missy Elliott,
Bruno Mars.
I saw you guys tweet. Did you tweet about having a beat? You said you got a beat ready for Missy.
Yeah. What we cooked yesterday?
Yeah.
No, not even that. There was another one. That was on that same spec.
Did she respond yet? You know she's active on Twitter, man. She might hit you back about that.
That would be sick.
Yeah. Who have you got music recorded with that we haven't heard yet? I know there must be some names that are like, that you guys like.
Do you know what?
You can gas me up with some names right now.
We could do.
No, this show. I know you've seen my show before, yeah. So this show is all about full transparency. There's no secrets here. It's not. I can't tell you that.
No, but you know what you learn about this game is just everything's so speculative. Like even with Chip's album, for instance, there's a few tracks that didn't get on.
Right.
There's loads of tracks. There was a few tracks with Sneakbo. Like so, you can work and record things, but you don't know whether that's ever going to
come out.
So that's why we could sit here and say certain things and say, "Oh, bro, what happened to that?" So I like to keep people surprised, man.
I hate that answer. I'm not gonna lie. I hate it. I don't like that answer. What's next for you guys as the Fanatix? Because I know you released a record with Popcaan. What, last year?
Yeah.
Is that the direction you're going to move towards? Because I feel like when it's just the first one that's come to my head, Scraps and Chip was produced by you, high spec, but no one's like, oh, have you heard the Fanatix beat? You know, Fanatix with Scraps and Chip on it. So I feel like in a lot of the cases, producers get put on the back burner, apart from nerds like me that look up who actually made the beat. Or when you put the tags on it, of course, everyone knows about it. Is that the goal, to move towards the Fanatix featuring and in all these artists?
Potentially, it's time right now because I feel that we've still got a lot of work to do in the sense of making awareness of our brand and our music. Like you said, unless it's people like yourself that are joining all the dots, even though the tag is and everything, so it does after a while. You're like, oh, bro, I've heard that a few times now.
Yeah, familiarity.
So yeah, I feel we are doing that in the background, but it's we're just trying to work with whoever we actually feel that our energies would work good with. And then from those situations, a bunch of tracks will get made. They might want a couple for their project. We might say, this one's our one. So it's kind of happening like that at the moment.
So what are you working towards? Are you making a collection for like an album, or are you going to just pop out singles here and there?
I think in the day and age that we're in now with the whole download culture, people make their own albums. You can make an album, but people ultimately will just take
playlists
and make their own playlists. So singles more so, I'd say, at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do want to have a Fanatix album.
Smart move. And then what about a live show? Is that even something that can... Do any of you DJ?
Yeah, so you see this little setup you got right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be... you might be able to get down with our team, even.
Yes.
Switch that hat round.
Yes. Yeah, let's change the hat. I'll get my Fanatix cap on.
We're definitely looking to do live, just because we've been approached to do live mixes for interviews that we've got on radio stations.
Okay, yeah.
So, And when we're in touch with labels and stuff, they do ask, and we do have that skill set. It's just, again, time-wise, we're just trying to solidify that we are producers, we're here, and then from there,
stamp that in, and once everyone knows, you can branch out and do that other stuff. A Fanatix concert or live show would be a madness. I'm just thinking of the guests that will come out on that show, man. Like, whoa!
Could be dope.
Apart from what we've spoken about, what's next for you guys, like for the rest of the year?
Eventually, we want to be a label, develop artists. We do songwriting as well as production, so we can work on full packages. We've got, just from being in the game and knowing loads of people, we can basically make the whole package for a label if they send artists to us. So that's ultimately where we want to be at. Our own production deal. Have a team of producers as part of that as well. Just people that we see that are coming up that have got that source.
So last thing to do, let's plug all your social medias. Fanatix Online, right?
Across everything.
Can we have a quick pop at the Real Fanatix? There's someone who's got the Twitter tag, the Real Fanatix. Huh? I don't know what it is. It's like some football platform, but I took it personally, man. I was like, you lot ain't the Real Fanatix. Fanatix Online are the Real Fanatix. Like, you lot are some dead football platform.
You're done now.
Fanatix Online. So that's on everything, right?
Yes.
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud. Good. Spotify?
Yeah, we're on Spotify too.
Good stuff. Dro, C Dot, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you very much for passing through, taking the time.
Yeah,
thank you for having us, brother.
I appreciate it, man. It's DJ Double here with the Fanatix.